What if someone could change the way you see reality without you even noticing? What if your thoughts weren't entirely your own? And what if one person could make others do the unthinkable without ever doing it himself? Stay with me, because this story isn't just terrifying, it's deeply human. And maybe the darkest part isn't what happened, it's that people chose to follow him, all on their own. His name was Charles Manson. At first glance, there was nothing special about him. No power, no money, no status. But he had one thing, far more dangerous than any of those. He understood people. Not the version they showed the world, but the part they kept hidden. The lonely ones, the lost ones, the ones desperate for meaning. He never forced anyone, never threatened anyone. He simply gave them a story to believe in. But to understand this story, we have to go back. Long before any of it happened. November 12, 1934, Cincinnati, Ohio. A baby was born, and his mother hadn't even picked out a name. Kathleen Maddox, 16 years old, a prostitute, an alcoholic. His father? Unknown. One night, she smashed a glass over a man's head in a bar, went to prison, and Charles was left completely alone. From age 5, he was passed around, foster homes, his aunt's house, his grandparents. Nowhere felt like home. No one chose to keep him. He learned early that to survive, you adapt. You read the room. You become whoever they need you to be. By 13, he was stealing. Reform school. Escape. Arrest. Reform school again. Escape again. By 32, he had spent more than half his life behind bars. And maybe the most important part of all, no one ever truly stopped him. No one ever truly saw him. So the question that lingers is this: was he always this way? Or was he built, piece by piece, along the way? You didn't come this far to stop here. Subscribe and go deeper with Obscura Mind. The 1960s. It didn't start with control. It started with connection. The world was changing. Young people searching for love, freedom, and meaning. And he walked in at exactly the right moment. He talked, he listened, and most importantly, he made people feel seen. He played guitar, he wrote songs, and people listened. Slowly, a group gathered around him, mostly young women from middle-class families, people searching for a family. The family. For them, it wasn't just a word. It was an entire world. A world where he was the center of everything. Manson told them, "Society is a lie. Only we are real. I am Jesus. I am Satan. I am both." And darker than anything else, he gave them LSD. Cut them off from the outside world. He built a reality with himself at the center. A place where right and wrong no longer meant what they used to. And when they were completely dependent on him, the next phase began. Slowly, reality shifted. The line between truth and belief disappeared. And when that line is gone, people stop asking questions. They just follow. Somewhere along the way, something shifts. The person you used to be slowly disappears. Your thoughts feel different. Your decisions feel guided. And the most dangerous part? You still believe you're in control, that everything is your own choice. But it isn't. It's a version of reality that was carefully constructed for you, built with patience, built with precision, until you can no longer tell the difference. Manson was obsessed with the Beatles. So obsessed, he believed their songs held secret messages meant only for him. He told his followers, "A race war is coming, black against white, and we need to light the match." He called his plan Helter Skelter. August 8, 1969, the home of actress Sharon Tate, 8.5 months pregnant, Los Angeles. 4 family members entered. Sharon and 4 others were murdered. Written on the wall in blood, pig. The next night, Leno and Rosemary LaBianca, 2 more dead. 9 victims, 2 nights. 1 man who was never even at the scene. Manson gave the order. Others carried it out. And they did it out of love for him. took months for police to connect the dots, but eventually they did. The trial was a spectacle. His followers laughed in the courtroom, carved an X into their own foreheads, just like Charlie. 1971, Manson sentenced to death. A year later, California abolished the death penalty. The sentence became life in prison. Every few years he applied for parole. Every time, denied. November 19, 2017, age 83, behind bars, alone. He died the way he had always lived, on his own terms, in his own darkness. We like to believe we're always in control, that our thoughts are our own, that our choices are conscious. But the truth is, we are all influenced, every single day, by people, by stories, by feelings we don't even notice. And sometimes the line between influence and control is far thinner than we think. Charles Manson wasn't a monster that crawled out of hell. He was a child who was never told, "I love you," who was never told, "You matter." I'm not saying that to excuse a single thing he did. I'm saying that unhealed wounds, when given power, can set the world on fire. His victims were people with dreams, with love, with entire lives ahead of them. We don't forget them, because darkness doesn't always look like darkness. Sometimes it looks like being understood. Sometimes it looks like belonging. Sometimes it looks like someone who finally sees you, and that is exactly what makes it so powerful. Because the same force that pulls someone toward darkness can guide them toward light. The only difference is who you choose to follow, and who you choose to be. Healing your trauma isn't as hard as it seems. It only asks one thing, that you look at it. Because for years, you've kept it locked away, only visiting it when you needed something to blame. But there's a wounded child inside you, sitting alone in a dark room full of scars, waiting. Close your eyes right now. Picture them. Walk in. Hold them. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them, you are safe now. No one will ever hurt you again. Then, gently wipe their tears. Reality is never the full story. Obscura